Since I just whatever.
My favorite color, red.
Why do I have a bunch of mail?
My favorite color, red.
Nice, another one. We might get more legendary cards. I want to know why I had email from. Let's go back.
My favorite color, red.
that's all it was. I don't have a guild. Hey, what's up, Lux? I don't have a guild for my new character, though, so I don't know. I need to gain levels, though. Might switch to controller. We'll have to see how this plays.
Granny?
But before
What does
we do
dying
that,
mean?
boys, we're going to see if we get the other legendary cards we're missing. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Alright, what's the chances, huh? Max. How many legendaries? One! Alright. Max, we probably won't even get one legendary from it. Yep, just as I thought. Max. Alright, another legendary. Perfect. Max. No legendaries. Those are just like worthless, I feel. They never drop a legendary. Oh, well that one did. No legendaries on that one. Probably one on this one. Yep. So 1500 times 10. What? Probably only legendaries. Alright, let's see if we get any of the cards. We did get... We got both of... Oh, but we need more. We need more. I don't know what the difference is. You got Abyss Legendary? What the fuck is the difference? You know, it'd be nice if I could, like, move over. Is it worth more? I don't know. It is changing the names. We won't mess with it because I don't know. Same with this. What's the difference? Okay, we're going to open one Abyss. Okay. So what's... Oh, is it a random chance? We did get a card we needed, though. I'm still kind of confused. What's the difference if they're all there? Now I'm gonna Google this because I don't know. I don't know the difference. Oh, there's a higher chance. Okay. I mean, we got lucky, so let's just do it. And this one? No legendary cards out of all of that? You gotta be kidding. Alright. This is not in our build. We did get one of the cards in our build. Okay. That's a shame on that, though. Alright, let's go to card. This has +2, but that doesn't help because we don't have the +1 on it yet. We'll do this one. Okay. See, we've already... it is what it is. We can also... No, that's not what we want. This one. Alright, let's do this. Okay. Alright. Alright, so let's see if that gave me XP towards whatever I'm using. Nope, so I don't know what it freaking did. Oh, we need another one. Still don't have the full reward set though. Pretty sure that was all the cards that we could get. I don't really understand what that's doing for us. Oh wait, no, we had 85. Okay. Alright, let's see. We should get at least one legendary. Yep, only one. That's ridiculous. Guardian. I don't even use this card, but whatever. Oh, more card packs. Oh, there we go. A lot of freaking... We're actually... Oh, I guess you can't. Ah, wait, no, we don't use that one. Or that one. Well, legendary card pack. Probably get one. Nope, none. Jeez, I don't have any of those cards. I've almost completed quite a bit there. See, why would I even want any of those when this one looks just fine? I just don't like the color red, but it does look good. In fact, it looks better than... What the crap? Oh, I upgraded? So I get extra points? Oh, you upgrade the... Oh, I get it. I get it. Probably should go for the damaging one. Okay. Oh, look at that. I didn't know you could upgrade those. Let's. I just don't have enough points. Alright. I wonder how you get more of those, because I need a lot of them. Oh, they do have a blue. Any reason why? It's either that one. Are you there, Vlex? What do you think? I just don't like the color red. What do you think, Vlux? Should I do the blue one or the red one? Or the purple one? I'm thinking the blue one. I bought the blue one. Ah, it looks good with the other transmog on it. Okay, sweet. Okay. Normally I'd go look and buy these items, but we're gonna go... Where's the full moon? There we go. Otherwise, it's horrible. Oops. We could upgrade the full moon, maybe. I mean, I don't know how expensive it's gonna be. Do I have any skill selectors? I don't think I do. I mean, I at least want to just get full moon out of the way. But I don't even have... I don't even know how much it's going to cost. And I'm not sure what I want to use my Hopi amulet on either. So that's basic. I don't... Yeah. Well, let's see how much they cost. You little bastard. $20 gold a pop? Why are they... I mean, it's not insane, but why? I guess it's not that bad. And these, I can't believe how much they cost. So if I did 20... Oh, it's because I don't have any more peons. I have to... Okay. So, okay. The difference is 10%. I mean, is the epic one worth it? Hold on. I could have sworn I had a thing that lets you choose epic. But I could have been wrong. That's the only one, I think. I don't... There's no full moon, so... Grudge is on legendary. And I need to use... Keen blunt weapon. Raid captain. Grudge is +9. And raid captain. Okay. That's also on blue, so... Cursed Doll, maybe? Yeah, none of them need epic right now, so... We need blue. So the bigger question is, in your guys' opinion, would it be worth... I mean, it's expensive. I mean, if we bought 20... Oh, 20. Wait, there's only 2? Oh, well, there goes that. What about this? There's only 8. Shoot. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Is there a green one? Ooh. How much horror can we get, right? Oh, well, there you go. Too bad not green, but these are decent. Definitely overpriced. Different. Stupid. I mean, can we color that? Oh, that's kind of neat. That's kind of cool too. I don't really want to wear a dress. I mean, that's kind of cool. I wish the cape wasn't so stinking big. And I wish there was green, but I only... It's only blue. Oh, there's green. Then why is it red? Yeah, why is the cape red? I mean, this is kind of cool too. I'm surprised it's not super expensive though. This is the only one. I wonder, actually. Really? They can't use... That's stupid. I did not know they added a skin storage. Cool. That would have been nice to know. Can't even tell. Oh, okay, there's a little green. Why do they gotta be so much? Like if you do this, right? I mean, those are cool and all, but it's interesting that that's green. And that's green too. So what's the freaking difference? Nothing really. Huh, he added a new one. See, I don't think the headpiece looks all that cool. Nope. Alright, what we need to look for... Wow, they're only a gold a piece now? And these are only a gold too? Wow, everything's gone down. Okay. Well, you know what that means, boys? We might be able to enchant. It's random. Is there no full moonstone? Grudge. And cursed doll. Oh my goodness, anyhow. the one I have is Relic Tier 3. Well, let's look. What's going to benefit me more? Or be cheaper, actually. Same freaking price. Slightly cheaper. Alright, we'll try those. I'm not sure what I want on my amulet. Thought I bought 3. Whatever. So let's sell this one. Oh, okay. Reach level 1475. Press I. Oh, I didn't realize they were already. Alright, let's see though. What's the chances you think we'll even get any good with this? What do you think? Oh, oops, no, that's not what I wanted. Nope, not what I wanted. Nope. Interesting. Never seen these before. It's probably the raid gear. Oh. Abyss gear. Okay, I get it.
Mom, when do I get wings?
You don't grow wings.
That's gear hunting. Oh, you can quality upgrade? That's cool. Because I got shafted. Oh, cool. Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off. Oh. Probably a waste, but whatever. I have no idea where.
I was gifted a Gina perfume yesterday.
Isn't that a proposal? Nice.
Okay. Where is... Because it just looks different to me. Quality upgrade, transmute, gear hunting, transfer skill, exchange. Stone cutter. Oh, right here. Looks like a gym. I'm an idiot. Oh boy. Why am I... This is ridiculous. So I got an 8-4. Aggravating. Well, we'll try again, right? Really? A +6? Screw off. Really? Wait, heavy. Oh, it's because it's the other one. Eight, 4. I mean, really? You're a fucking piece of shit. I hate that. Movement speed is whatever. But we want all spec and then the rest in swiftness. Alright, so I need that and then those. Okay, so greater and then aura. Oops. Okay. Alright, I need red. See, I don't want to... Oh, I don't have any honor shards at all? Oh, I didn't realize that. How do I not have any honor shards? Might not be enough for what we need. It literally... Alright, I need to double check. Legendary packs. Somehow I missed that. Well, that sucks. That sucks too. And that sucks too. Well, we could do that. No. Well, we could do that. That might be all we can do. No, we could do that. What if I open these? Nope. That's all we could do. Unless there was something else I was missing, but I don't think so. So we got like 20 legendary cards tonight. And I didn't have to spend 1 gold. It was just from login rewards. Alright. Maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. Maybe 1 legendary. Nope. Oh, come on. They need to add the skip feature of... There we go. We got it on that one. We're already out of blues. And great. Okay. So... Whoa! Okay, that should be plenty. I don't know if I should have did that. That was probably too many. Oh, crap. It doesn't leave me room for... Okay, let's try again. Well, so far I'm not winning. Red's gonna be the hard one. Come on. Do I not have one of those? Wait. I'm confused. So why? Oh, armor. let's open. And try. After all of that, like, really? Ouch. Why am I not getting... Whatever. What do you think? One legendary? None. Oh, they no longer do the animation? There we go. And I needed to get to 1475, and I'm 1462. Darn. Do I not have... That's for a weapon, yeah. Ah. I don't want to have to buy them. But we might have to. Alright, we got that to 15. Haven't had to spend any gold on it yet. Still haven't had to spend money, so... I would love for my weapon to upgrade though. Because I think that's a little ridiculous. Of course not. Okay. This might be where we have to spend money. Because I don't have... haven't had to spend money, but this is ridiculous. Man, this is gonna take a while. I wish I could just kind of have it where it keeps going and going and going. I just didn't want to have to do that. But this is kind of ridiculous. And it's starting to cost me a lot of silver. A little ridiculous. Oh, you... Okay. So you only want to get it to 15. That makes sense. It needs to do where if you hit, like, or it does it over and over and over. Like, I shouldn't have to keep going back and clicking. I mean, there's no reason for it. I mean, this is just absurd. Eventually, it just starts to wear on your fingers, dude. Still not 75. Oh, there we go. Wait, why did... I really don't want to waste all my mats on this, though. Oh my goodness, anyhow. Still didn't get to upgrade my weapon again, though. Don't want to have to spend any money. I wonder why that one had 100%. Oh my goodness, anyhow. Come on, like of all of them, this is the one that needs to go up. There we go. I have to be 1490 and I'm not there. So even if I got it, so that's 3, 6, 9, 10. I think that's it, folks. You don't, well, no. Come on. So how many times can you fail till it's 100%? There we go. Man, I've already spent like 3 million silver. Yeah, 1480. We need to be 1490. $14.85. So close. Sucks. I didn't want to have to do this, but does it get cheaper as you do it? Doesn't seem like it. There we go. Not 90 though, so come on. No, it's gonna cost all my mats, isn't it? Yep. They really should increase the percent a little higher. It's only gone up. There we go. All right. Okay, now okay. Okay, nice. All right. East Oloretta. Okay.
I was gifted a Gina perfume yesterday.
Isn't that a proposal? How nice!
So, that's what happened to Loria.
Shh. There's the guest of Nineveh.
What? Where is... I don't even know where I'm gonna go. Same place. Yep. Um... I don't... I'm drawing a blank. Because I don't see... Unless I just have to leave. Would be my guess.
You can take
That's probably what it was. I just had to leave. Alright, here we go. Nope. I do not even... Okay, let's see. Okay, I actually do not know how to get to the ocean. Because I'm not used to this area. I don't... I don't... It's not even in the list, so... I don't know. Alright, so where is he?
Granny, what does dying mean?
It is to return to the embrace of...
So, that's what happened.
This'll help secure the foundation.
I was gifted a Gina perfume yesterday.
I honestly don't know how to leave. This is crazy.
Look, Dad bought me cloud. Mom, when do I get wings?
I don't know how to leave. Do I have to go to the village, maybe? What the fudge? Maybe it's the village. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my!
Oh, it's Albion. Okay. Alright, here we go. Okay, this looks more familiar. And I need...
What flower is that in your hair?
But... I still gotta remember... Yeah, the rift, there we go. Head to the open siege Sultan, then next go to Lutheran and Castle.
Let's go on an adventure.
Just leave it.
Huh?
I knew it.
watch Jumpstart.
Remember to activate your triport. It will help you get around Lutera.
You're here.
How have you been? I heard about what happened in Elgeisha from Nineveh.
Your Majesty, I have a report. The following are missing person cases that keep occurring in Phaeton.
A demon that infiltrated Sacria on their own.
Luteran Royal Guard waiting to be relieved. Nothing to report.
I got hiccups.
Look over there. It's the King's Knight.
King's Knight. Hello. Let me take you to your room. Was there any inconvenience during your stay?
Hey, Pepper Gang, imagine Tarkov and Showdown had a baby, but it was set in 1899 America.
Hi everyone, Retro Tech Dad here, and no fancy intro this time around. We're going with a different style so that we can take an early look at the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, which came in the other day, and I've been working all day on trying to put something together for everybody. This is not going to
All
be
the tension and greed of the world began when Regulus took ownership of the Ark.
CES with the Retro Handhelds team, Russ from Retro Game Core, and Joey from Joey's Retro Handhelds. They will all have great content coming out with the Pocket 4, and in case you missed it, I recommend checking out the live stream that we did the other night as well. Retroid team was kind enough to send me the unit that you see in hand here, which is the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro in black. They will be releasing two different versions. The standard 4, which comes with the
I remember the
Dimensity
knighthood
900,
ceremony like it
which I
was
have on
yesterday.
order, and
You've
the
become a
one
greater
which is the
hero than I ever thought
Dimensity
possible.
D1100. This is the first time we are seeing this specific chipset in a handheld, but it is quite similar to the D1200, which I have pretty good familiarity with, covering it previously on the channel, including a pretty lengthy PS2 showcase from way back with the GPD XP Plus. Now, as I mentioned, the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro is powered by the Dimensity D1100, which features 4 Cortex A78 cores clocked at 2.6 GHz and 4 Cortex A55 cores clocked at 2 GHz. For the GPU, we have the Mali G77 MC9 clocked at 836 MHz. The Pro
I've confirmed that it's also in
Quite a bit to think about.
I see. Good work. You're here.
of LP DDR4X RAM and 120. 128 gigabytes of internal UFS 3.1 storage. It does
to
ship
make sure
with
nothing's
Android
missing.
13 out of the box. The Retroid Pocket 4 and 4 Pro are both available for pre-order directly from the Retroid website, which I will have linked down below. The Pocket 4 Pro is going to be available for $199 US. According to their website, the Pocket 4 Pro will start shipping on January 15th. Retroid's website is also a great place to get the official grip, case, as well as replacement parts for the Pocket 4. Now, at first glance, the 4 Pro looks very similar to its predecessor, the 3 Plus. But as we start to pay attention to the details, there's a lot that's been changed here, and the 4 Pro is more than just a bump in power. First things first,
Let's be real. Life can get tough to say the least, and especially without someone to talk to. And as
let's take a look at the shoulder area, where we now have analog triggers. This was something that I always wished the 3 Plus included, and having these triggers will be great for GameCube, and especially for game streaming, which the 4 Pro will be quite solid for with the built-in Wi-Fi 6. Looking a bit closer here, and Retroid has added a nice texture to both the shoulder button and trigger, and it's definitely a small detail that I appreciate. The movement here is very smooth and has solid resistance, but not overly difficult to press down on. The range of the trigger is spot on, and even comparing it to Retroid's own 2S, this feels a bit better to me. I also like that the trigger here is slightly wider, and not only that, but slightly taller as well compared to the 3 Plus. The 4 Pro definitely accommodates your finger better when holding the handheld. Now, a subtle change is the removal of the Retroid branding on the bezel of the 3 Plus. Instead, with the 4 and 4 Pro, Retroid has moved their branding to the back of the unit. I like this more subtle approach to their branding, and it does add just a bit of a refined look to their unit overall. I'll also comment on the plastic itself, which was the first thing I immediately noticed holding it in hand. In the past, the solid colors had a different feeling plastic when compared to the transparent ones, such as the purple 3 Plus I have here. However, the black 4 Pro I have in hand here actually feels very much like my purple 3 Plus, and there's a very nice, subtle texture to the plastic all around. Now, it's definitely subtle, but also noticeable, and I have to say, it's a solid change. I was worried that the black unit here would be a fingerprint magnet, but it is holding up quite well to me handling the unit. I'm intentionally pressing and rubbing my fingers into the plastic, and while not completely resistant, it is still holding up quite well. Very impressive. As I mentioned before, I had some idea of what to expect given my experience with the D1200.
If I heard
However,
correctly,
the D1100 looks to be up to the task here.
Then leave this as collateral.
Personally, I always considered PS2 and even GameCube and Wii emulation to be very much a bonus on a device like the 3 Plus. And now with the 4 Pro, we are almost there. We still have some games that prove to be challenging, but with some tweaking or clever usage of PAL or NTSC versions, we are getting really close. Games like Burnout Revenge, which has been on screen and is using the pre-installed version of Ether SX2 that ships with the Pocket 4 Pro. I've got the NTSC version here on Vulkan and at 1.7 times the native resolution. We are staying nice and locked to 60 frames per second here.
this was the
Now
most
moving on to a
difficult
viewer
order
request. Here
in my
we have
20
Need for
years
Speed
as an
Most
artist.
Wanted, and the Need for Speed games are actually
I
quite
want a
demanding
painting
on
from
both
Vulkan.
PS2 and GameCube.
This is
I
basically a
decided to go
mirror.
with the PAL version here using Vulkan again, and at 2 times the native resolution, we are definitely at the limit, but it's mostly consistent at 50 frames per second, and similar to Burnout Revenge, will probably be pretty smooth at 1.7 times the native resolution. And why not? Let's go with one more racing game, and Outrun 2006 is another very demanding game to emulate on the PlayStation 2. I'm using the PAL version again here, and in Vulkan at native resolution, we are staying pretty consistent at that 50 frames per second. This is definitely a good sign since this game is again notoriously hard to emulate, and even through sections I know have issues, it seems to be holding just fine here on the Pocket 4 Pro.
Hey, are you here to talk to Shandy?
I'll go ahead and feature another fantastic game from
You should
Criterion.
go say hello
Black
to
is
just
a
to
first-person
borrow
shoot
some
game from the studio best known for the Burnout series. I have Black here using the NTSC version with Vulkan at 2 times native resolution, and we are staying locked at the 30 frames per second target. I have to say this game looks really solid, cleaned up a bit on the smaller screen here with the Pocket 4 Pro. Finally, let's check out another demanding and difficult to emulate game on the PS2, Shadow of the Colossus probably impressed me the most, as I am using the NTSC version and native resolution, and the game does seem to be staying locked to its target frame rate, which is really awesome to see. I did experience some minor dips here and there, but I have to say this is pretty smooth
My old man
overall.
can't know about this.
This isn't something you see every day.
There's no doubt that I'll be doing a lot more playtesting with PlayStation 2, and I definitely would love to see some of your requests in the comments for different games to test. Now let's move over to GameCube, and things are definitely interesting here. Dolphin has always been tricky because of the multiple forks and how fragmented it can seem to be. Mainline Dolphin from the Play Store has actually come a long way and really should handle a lot of the GameCube library. But for this video, I'm just going to start out with two very difficult games to emulate. And in many ways, the limitation is with the emulator itself. For F-Zero, I settled on using the PAL version here, and for this game, the pre-installed Dolphin for handheld seemed to perform the best with F-Zero GX. Now it's still early testing for me, and for now, I've been testing between Dolphin for handheld and Dolphin from the Play Store. F-Zero is definitely a difficult game to run well, but with more playtime, the game does seem to be holding up. I did turn the resolution scaling down to 27x to stabilize the frame rate. It's not perfect, and I wasn't expecting this one to be. I will be curious to see how the other forks fare with F-Zero and see if we can get this one running just a bit more stable. And for the second game, I have Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, and this one just has tons of emulation issues in general, and so it's not all that surprising to me that this one is not running perfectly on the Pocket 4 Pro. I am using the PAL version of Rogue Squadron 2 here, and for this game, I found that mainline Dolphin from the Play Store seems to work the best with it, at least in my early testing. I'll let the footage play through a bit more just so you can get a sense of cutscene transitions and a bit more gameplay with this one.
You can't trust anyone.
You can't see it with your eyes, but the past in prison was in the present and future make an illusion stone for you or not.
It's all worn out.
Now for Wii, I did test one of my personal favorite games, which is Super Mario Galaxy 2, and this one runs really well using the pre-installed Dolphin for handheld that ships with the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. In fact, I'm really happy with just how well this one performs here, and it looks really great on the RP4
Why are
Pro's
you
screen.
holding on to this? Jeez, it stinks. What's inside it?
Adventurer, I'm so grateful I get to accompany you on your journey to
Now,
find the
we're not quite
Ox.
done yet with Nintendo, and so
I'm
let's
not as
move
optimistic
quickly to
as you
3DS
that we'll
using
find
the
them.
installed Citra, and I
Only
am
time will
testing
tell.
Donkey Kong
There's
Country
power
Returns
in
3D,
such
which is
a
definitely the
record.
version I prefer
I'm
over the Wii
excited and
version,
happy to be
and
with
I've
a
got
friend who
Donkey Kong
gives me
running at
hope for
4
the
times the
future
native resolution, and it
and
does seem
stands
to be
by
holding
me
up
no
quite
matter
well
how
to my
fallible
testing.
I may be.
I'm definitely looking forward to testing a bit more here with
You
Citra,
asked me
but
once
like
to call
Dolphin,
you
there
by
are
your name.
multiple forks, and I suspect
I'm still
some
not
games
sure
will
that
still
feels
require
right.
different versions. And
While we're
again, it's
journeying
more of a
together,
limitation of the
I'd like
emulation
to
and
learn
not
from your
necessarily the
honesty
power
and
that we have
bravery.
on hand here. Finally,
hope
our
that one
last
day I'll
Nintendo
feel
platform,
comfortable enough
and
to
I
call you by
definitely
your
want to
name.
stress that this is very much a bonus for the Pocket 4
Adventurer.
Pro, as Switch emulation
I may
on
not be as
Android
strong
with
as you
Yuzu is still very much in development
do
and
my
is
best to
constantly
be a good
evolving on
companion.
nearly a daily basis. As time goes on, we will see things become more and more playable, and so this is just fun to see what's possible. I'm almost positive that I will be covering this much more in the future like I did with the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. For all the tests here, I am using the GitHub version of Yuzu for Android with the 16.1.0 firmware. First up, let's take a look at a very popular indie game, and my good friend Mikhailov from Team Retrogue seems to believe that he looks like Dave the Diver, and so I think he's going to be really happy to find out that this game seems to be working so far with the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. I needed to turn on docked mode to get this game to launch properly, and so I had to turn down the resolution to 0.75x, and performance is pretty solid here. Another game that I've seen pop up numerous times, and one that I've talked about on the channel before. Here we have Sea of Stars, and this one is also doing pretty well so far with my initial playtesting. For this one, I'm at native resolution in handheld mode, and performance does appear to be pretty solid.
Sorry, I'm laughing because this has to be.
I don't know your friend.
You're going to do it anyway.
Now, another indie game that I really love, and a pretty old one at that, is Fez, and this is one that was not full speed for me when I tested it on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. However, on the Pocket 4 Pro, it does seem that we are now locked at that 60 frames per second.
Now, we just need to complete a short ritual. Bring that up.
Of course, we can't talk about Switch without a few Mario games, and I wanted to try out Super Mario RPG briefly, and I was surprised that this one was holding up on the 4 Pro. This is another game that needed docked mode to run properly, and so I had to turn the resolution down to 0.5x because of that. We are not quite full speed, but for the most part, I'd say this is acceptable performance to me, and the lower resolution scaling isn't as noticeable because of the screen size here on the 4 Pro.
Put the
And one
priest's
last Mario
item
game,
at the
Super
center
Mario
of the
Wonder, I
magic
thought
circle.
would be a good test, and this one
haven't
is
used
so
these
very close
powers
to
in a
being full speed on
while.
the 4 Pro. For this one, I am set to handheld mode, but I did turn the resolution scaling down to 0.5x to get as much performance out of this one. We are really close here, and this one just hovers slightly below 60 frames per second, and I do think it's pretty playable, but I'm hoping that we will see this one improve with future updates of Yuzu. There's going to be a lot more to come here with emulation in general, and I'm sure as I do more testing, I'm going to discover all sorts of new things. Now, many longtime viewers know just how much I love native Android gaming, especially on devices like the 4 Pro, and so this is a section that will be getting plenty more attention in the future. However, I still wanted to test at least one native Android game here, and so I decided to load up Diablo Immortal, which does have full gamepad support and so makes good use of the 4 Pro here. Better yet, this game is set to high settings with a 60 frames per second mode, and things look really solid here with plenty of headroom to change settings as you desire for better battery life. And because we have those new triggers, I could not resist loading up something from Xbox Game Pass Cloud. And with the Wi-Fi 6 on board here, I think many are going to enjoy using the 4 Pro as an affordable game streaming device. I've got Doom Eternal on screen here, and this was an absolute joy to play on the 4 Pro thanks to those improved controls and Wi-Fi 6.
This
I'm
reminds
actually really
me of
impressed
the
here,
old
and I'm
days.
definitely going to be
Don't
testing
be
PC
such a
streaming as well in
child.
the future. So before we wrap things up here, I do want to talk about the green tint that Stubbs discovered on our live stream the other night. I went ahead and grabbed my Pocket 3 Plus to compare against the 4 Pro here, and you can definitely see the difference when I have a white background on screen. I did manually adjust the exposure here to best capture it, but I do think it's coming off on camera pretty well. Now, I've been told that this is going to be addressed in an over-the-air update, and that Retroid is aware of the issue. I will definitely be checking this again when that OTA comes in from Retroid, and I just wanted to put this notice out there since I do think it's useful information. Okay, so maybe this wasn't as quick, but really there's a lot to talk about here, and plenty more to come once I return from my trip to CES. My usual full in-depth review with in-depth benchmarks, a teardown, and a lot more emulation will be coming. Please put any requests in the comments, and I will try my best to get to them. As always, I am the Retro Tech Dad, and thank you so much for watching.
It looks like it's good now. You could be swept away.
Not
so
our-
stay back.
Zakra, let's begin.
Hey everybody, this is Russ from Retro Game Report. I just got back from my family vacation. We went over to Washington State to visit my parents for the holidays, and every time that I come back from a trip like that, I like to do a quick recap video, so that's what we're going to cover here today. Now, mostly in this video, I want to talk about the handheld I brought with me, which is the AYN Odin 2. It just so happens that I've had this device for about 3 months at this point, and so it's a good time to do a recap of my previous review, and then any sort of update that I found since then. So in this video, I want to talk about why I brought the Odin 2 and when I actually had a chance to play it while on vacation, and then also what games I played and what changes have happened with the Odin 2 since my last review. And so, without any further delay, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, to start, let's talk about why I brought the Odin 2, and as you can imagine, I have like a million of these handhelds, and so this is always a big decision when I go on a trip like this. And it's funny, but the reason why I picked the Odin 2 has less to do with the device itself, but the other devices I chose not to bring. For example, I thought about bringing the Steam Deck OLED. It's got a nice big display and good battery life, but it's a little bit big of a handheld, and I've taken it on other trips before, and it's kind of hard to be inconspicuous when you're traveling with a big device like that. And so I really wasn't looking forward to pulling out a device that's about the size of a small child out of my backpack.
I had something. I
So
felt a suspicious energy just now.
Now another device I considered bringing is the ROG Ally.
They're rushing in with incredible holy power.
I was going to be on a flight from Hawaii to Washington, which is about 6-7 hours, and I knew the battery life was going to last that long. And so as a result, I did kind of gravitate towards something that had better battery life.
I think it might be best if you
and I think
look
for my
into
particular
it.
use case, it's a perfect fit. It has a 6-inch screen, which is still nice and impressive, but it's a more compact design. It's about the size of a Nintendo Switch. In addition, the battery life is great. You can average about 10 hours of battery life. And so as a result, this just became my de facto device when it came to traveling. Now, it's a long story, but I also have 2 Odin 2s right now, so I had to make a decision about that. I have the transparent blue model as well as the white unit. One of these is a review unit, the other one I bought myself. And after using both devices for a while, I've decided to go with the white Odin 2 over the blue one. I think the blue one really pops and it looks good, but the RGB lights is what's holding me back. On the blue model, the RGB lights around the analog sticks just look a little bit weird just based on their layout. And so what I've been doing with this model is turning off the lights around the analog sticks and only leaving them on the sides of the device. And I do think that looks pretty good, but honestly, I like the lighting around the analog sticks on the white model that much better. And I also really like that clean look that comes from the white model too. So that's the one I'm going to be sticking with. And finally, the other thing worth talking about in this section are the accessories I brought with me. And really, there wasn't much. I had a charging cable and then this soft case from TomTalk. And this is actually made for a Nintendo Switch. I think it costs about $30, and I think it works really well. It has a lot of padding on the inside. In fact, there is a cartridge holder within it that you can use for additional padding. And there's a little pocket here where I put a microfiber cloth. And really, that's about it. It's a very simple case. There is a pocket on the outside as well to put your charging cable, and that's really all I needed. So now let's talk a little bit about when I actually play games while on this trip. As you can imagine, it was a family vacation, so a lot of that time was spent with family.
I know this place like the back of my hand.
I'll lead the way. I actually did play some
Good
games.
luck.
And I'd say the easiest example is going to be while on the airplane. Like I mentioned before, we were flying across the Pacific, so we had like 6 or 7 hours to kill each way to play games. And so I ended up sitting next to my oldest son, who's 14, and he actually brought my Steam Deck OLED. He played Elden Ring for a little bit, but gave up pretty quickly, and then just played Dave the Diver. He had a great time. And of course, while he was playing, I was playing the Odin 2. On the way over, I played a bunch of Chrono Trigger. We'll talk more about that later. And then on the way back, I played a bunch of Sea of Stars. It was a great time. And so that's probably where the majority of the game playing was right there, you know, about 12 to 14 hours of playing games while in the air. Now another chunk where I had some time to play games was actually on a road trip. So my parents live in the Olympia area of Washington, but we made a trip over to Leavenworth, which is across the Cascade Mountains. It's about 3 hours each way. Now, thankfully, my dad was there to drive through the snow and all that stuff. I am not equipped for that anymore. I've been living in Hawaii forever at this point. And so that was nice. And then there were also some downtime there as well. As you can imagine, people were like falling asleep and whatnot on the road trip. And so I did sneak in a couple hours of gaming within that point as well. By the way, if you're ever in Washington during the holidays, I do recommend checking out Leavenworth. It's this little German or Bavarian town, and they've got like everything you can think of, all these great sausages and drinks and everything else. And so it's just a really cozy kind of feeling right there in the middle of Washington State. Anyway, other than that, I didn't really spend a lot of time playing games, just a few minutes here and there. You know, there were times when maybe someone would take a nap and everything was quiet in the house, and so I'd knock out maybe an hour of Chrono Trigger or Sea of Stars, and really that was about it. But to be honest, given the fact that I spend so much time reviewing all these various devices, it was nice to just focus on one and only play it like kind of leisurely. and so that was a really great experience for me. And of course, all those factors that make the Odin 2 so great really came into play during this use case. So for example, if I just needed to switch it off for a little bit, I could press the power button to put it into standby, and then I could come back to it, tap the power button again, and I'd be right back in the game. In fact, one thing I noticed when I got back from my trip is that I had forgotten to turn off my other Odin 2, the transparent blue one. And so this was on standby for the entire 2 weeks I was gone. Now I don't remember what the battery life was when I left, but when I came back it was still at about half full, and so that's pretty incredible considering the fact that I was gone for 2 weeks. Either way, I found this device to be a perfect fit when it came to a family vacation
just a
like
little
this.
more
I could pick it up during my leisure time and just kind of play for a few minutes here and there, and it was always there ready and waiting for me. Now, before we jump into the games that I was playing during this trip, I do want to talk about some of the updates that have happened to this device since my last review and even my starter guide, so let's jump into those. Now to start, AYN has released some over-the-air updates for the device that you can find within their settings. Number one, they've improved the RAM utilization on the device, and this really comes into play with the 299 base model, which has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Additionally, within the Odin settings, they now have an option to use a 4 gigabyte VRAM swap. And again, this will be really good for the base model with its 8 gigabytes of RAM, specifically if you're trying to play Nintendo Switch games or some high-end Android games. Now, I don't have the base model to test with, but the reports I've been reading say that this 4 gigabyte swap file has been helping a lot when it comes to Nintendo Switch emulation. There's a couple games like Tears of the Kingdom that still aren't playing completely at full speed, but for the most part, most other games are playing just fine. So if you do have a base model, I would recommend checking out this 4 gigabyte VRAM swap. It might improve your performance. Another app I recently found that's been really helpful is one called Obtainium. And the great thing about this app is that it collects and organizes all your other third-party apps. And for a lot of emulators, it's better to actually
Why is everyone
download and
going
install the
crazy
most
over this
recent
scrap of
development
paper?
versions. And so there are a lot of apps that will benefit from this, including Dolphin and Yuzu and Citra, and even RetroArch. So you can get all these apps directly through Obtainium, and then it'll notify you when there's a new update, and you can update it directly within this app as well. So if you're like me and you want to stay on the cutting edge of the most recent releases for some of these emulators, I found that Obtainium is really helpful. And I've actually made a new section within my AYN Odin starter guide that talks about advanced emulator options.
This is
and that'll
Pletchia
talk you
Museum,
through the whole
run by the
Obtainium
Vadice
process.
family.
And I've got a couple other handy tips in there as well, including how to add custom texture packs for GameCube
This is
and
Pletchia
PS2,
Museum,
and then
run
also
by the
controller
Vadice
patches
family.
for Wii games like Super Mario Galaxy. Anyway, I'll leave this stuff linked down below if you want to learn more.
Wow,
Another handy
there
feature I
are
recently
so
found is the
many
ability to add a
interesting
controller
things
swap
here,
within the top menu
right?
on Android. So if you want to switch between the
Look
Xbox
for
and Switch
that
layout
thing
easily, you
you're
can do that
looking
using a
for,
third-party
friend.
solution. Now, AYN is actually working on an
This
update
song
of their own
seems
to
to
make this
express
official,
a
and so we
desire
should be seeing this in an OTA update soon. But if you want to try it out yourself, I'll also leave that linked in my starter guide. And finally, the other big update I wanted to touch on is Nintendo Switch emulation using the Yuzu emulator. This one has had a bunch of updates over the past few weeks, and some of these are very significant. Probably the most important one is going to be under the advanced emulator settings. Now, under the debug section, they have a new CPU backend option called Native Code Execution, or NCE. And with the more recent versions of Yuzu, this has actually been turned on by default. And this feature is pretty amazing. It allows the Nintendo Switch code to run directly on the CPU. And given the fact that the Nintendo Switch runs on the same sort of architecture as an Android device, this means we have a lot of efficiency gains. And using native code execution has improved things a lot. For example, many games that were crashing before are now playable, and a lot of these games are running a lot better with fewer stutters and everything else. Not only that, I found that the Odin 2 doesn't have to work as hard to play some of these games, which means that I'm going to have better battery life as well. And not only that, I've been able to play a lot of these games in docked mode, which means it's going to take up that full 1080p resolution and it looks ultra sharp on this display. A good example here is going to be Super Mario Wonder. Previously I had to play this in handheld mode and it looked a little bit fuzzy but was still very playable. But now I can play it in docked mode just using the standard performance profile, and I'm getting very few stutters as well, so this has been a really great experience. And so if you are running Nintendo Switch emulation on the Odin 2, I would recommend updating to the latest version of Yuzu, and you can also use that Obtainium.
The gods are different.
Another thing they've added to Yuzu are per game configuration settings. And this has been really great for me as well. For example, if there's a certain game that runs better in dock mode or in handheld mode, I can change that in the settings. And you can even choose which drivers to use with certain games. So this really opens up things when it comes to customizability within Yuzu. Anyway, those are all the big changes that I've noticed since my last review, and I'll leave all this stuff linked in my starter guide, which will be down below. Okay, next I want to talk about some of the games that I played and how I played through them, because I think it might be a little bit interesting. We're going to start with the number one game that I played the most, which was Chrono Trigger. And this is a game I've been trying to play for like 30 years at this point, but this trip just seemed to be the perfect time to actually do it. Now, there are a bunch of different versions of this game. Super Nintendo, PS1, DS, as well as a PC port. and so I did take some time in deciding which one I wanted to use. And the advice I got was to try the Nintendo DS version. This one has the cutscenes that are featured in the PlayStation 1 version, but it doesn't have those long loading times that were there in the PlayStation version of the game. And so it was nice to see these cutscenes from time to time as I was playing through the game, which took me about 20 hours altogether. Now, another thing I had to decide was how I was going to emulate this game on Nintendo DS. The standard emulator that everyone uses is Drastic, and that's the one I generally recommend. But I found that when playing the game, even with the high resolution turned on, everything looked just a little bit fuzzier than I was expecting. So I ended up playing this through the Melon DS emulator core in RetroArch instead. Now, this is not a very efficient core, but the Odin has more than enough power for it, and in addition, this is a pixel-based game, so it's not rendering 3D graphics. So as a result, the performance was just great on the Odin using RetroArch, and the picture was nice and sharp and clear. In addition, I was able to use RetroArch shaders, so I used an LCD grid overlay, just a really light one, but it looked very nice. And by virtue of using it through RetroArch, I had access to all these universal hotkeys, including loading and saving states, and also the fast forward button, which came in really handy when I was trying to play certain battles. The only other thing worth mentioning is that I did play with a few cheats. For example, I used a cheat that gave me 4 times the experience every time I finished a battle. This allowed me to level up more quickly and made it a lot easier to get through the game. That's one of the reasons why I never finished it in the first place, because often I would get a couple hours into it and it would just be a grind. And for me, I'm more interested in the story than the gameplay, so I found this to be a perfect balance for my gameplay style. Either way, yeah, I had a great time playing through this game, and I highly recommend it, and it still holds up here 29 years later. Now, another game I've been wanting to replay is the original Metal Gear Solid. Initially, I thought I would play it on the PS1, but because the Odin 2 is so powerful, I can play it on the GameCube, even upscaled to 1080p, and so that's what I did. And it's been a long time since I played through this game. I think I played through Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes on the GameCube maybe back in like 2004, 2005. So it's been a good,
it's
what,
a
almost 20 years
beautiful
at
church.
this point.
It is
And so
said
I've
that
really
many
enjoyed
artists
going
have
back
worked
to
on
that
it for a
story
long
because
time.
honestly, I've forgotten a lot of the plot points. In addition, the game looks incredible on the Odin because I'm upscaling those graphics so everything looks nice and crisp. And so I've also been really enjoying this experience too. Now, I'm probably only about a third of the way through it. I'm actually right before the Psycho Mantis fight. I'm not sure how I'm going to get through that. I know I have to fiddle around with the controls, but all the same, I'm looking forward to that battle as well. Another thing that kind of struck me about this game is how cutscene intensive it is. I didn't really realize how much time you spend watching the game instead of playing. I knew that was definitely a thing that happens in Metal Gear Solid 2 and beyond, but I just wasn't expecting it with the first game as well. And by no means am I complaining about it. I really like that cinematic experience of Metal Gear Solid. In fact, it's kind of amazing how advanced this game was at the time when it comes to just having a very blockbuster feel to it. Now, another game I spent a lot of time playing was Sea of Stars. In fact, this was one of the reasons why I considered bringing the Steam Deck OLED as well as the ROG Ally, because I wanted to play the PC version of that game. But then I remembered I have the Switch version of the game already, and so I could just emulate it on the Odin 2 instead. And given the fact that we've had a bunch of updates to Yuzu, it actually is a really great fit on this handheld. Number one, the game runs using that native code execution and also plays in docked mode, which means it's going to be a full 1080p resolution, and the game is also not very power hungry, so I got some really great battery, about 8 hours on average when playing the game. And given the fact that I had just beaten Chrono Trigger, this was a really great segue, because it's a very similar game in many respects, and so it was nice to see a modern implementation of some of those aspects that I really enjoyed in Chrono Trigger. And another thing I liked about the game is that you can tweak some of the gameplay mechanics. After you've gotten through the first part of the game, they give you these things called relics. And these are optional tweaks that you can use and you can collect more later on. And again, because I focus more on story than gameplay, I really enjoyed having that balance. In fact, there's one relic that's really helpful. It'll double your hit points, and then also every time you finish a battle, your hit points will go back to 100%. And so that's been great for me because I spend less time doing inventory management and just getting through the game instead. And so if you're looking for a more traditional role-playing game on a modern console, I think that Sea of Stars is great, both on Nintendo Switch or the PC version. And I'm about 3 or 4 hours into it at this point, and I am hooked. I can't wait to finish this game as well. Now, overall, I had a great experience when playing Odin 2 on this trip, but there were a couple drawbacks that I wanted to mention in this next section. And the first one here is really just an effect of using emulation instead of playing on original hardware. Like I mentioned before, I wanted to play the PC version of Sea of Stars on the Steam Deck OLED or the ROG Ally. And the reason for that was because I already have a cloud save game going on those devices, and so I knew I could just jump right back into the game and then start from there. And unfortunately, when moving over to Switch emulation, I had to start over from scratch. Now, honestly, it's not really a bad thing. It just means that I probably need to finish the game on the Odin 2, but that's definitely not as handy and convenient as it is when using Steam Cloud Save. Another thing that was a bit of a drawback was the fact that when I was playing Chrono Trigger, I would only earn retro achievements when I was actually online. And that's because this feature does require you to be connected to Wi-Fi as you're playing. And as you can imagine, I was on an airplane a lot of the times I was playing this game. And so as a result, there's a big chunk in the middle of my retro achievements points where I didn't earn anything. I've got a bunch at the beginning and then a bunch in the end. And again, this is really just kind of a nitpick, but man, the completionist in me makes me want to play through that game again. And then finally, the only other drawback that I noticed when I was playing the OD2 has to do with the D-pad. Now, this is an analog-centric device, and the fact that the analog stick is above the D-pad, and I did find that with many games that would use either an analog stick or a D-pad, I preferred the analog stick just because the positioning was that much more comfortable. And so as a result, games like Chrono Trigger, I didn't use the D-pad at all, maybe to go through the menus, but that was about it. So again, it was just a little thing, but I did find that I preferred to use analog controls when playing with the Odin 2, even if I could use the D-pad instead. So really, that's about it in a nutshell when it comes to my trip over the past couple weeks, specifically when it came to playing the Odin 2, and I had a great time with it. And I made a couple review videos about the Odin 2, and I was saying at the time that it's the best device you can buy at that price point, and I think it's even better now. Now that I spent more time with it, I love it even more. However, that being said, the price point is pretty high, so if you haven't watched my other review videos, I really break down that price point, especially when it compares to other devices like the Steam Deck. But really, when it comes down to it, my advice is the same that I had back then. And that is that if you don't mind having the black model, I think the base model at $299 is a really great deal. And given the fact that we have that new VRAM swap capability, I'm not really sure it's going to be worth investing another $70 to get the Pro model. Instead, I think the only reason to get the Pro model is going to be if you prefer to have a different colorway over the black one. For me, it's an easy choice because I don't really like black handhelds. I would prefer to have something white or transparent blue like I have. However, I would say at this point, because the performance is pretty similar, it's really going to be a cosmetic choice more than anything. The Pro model also has more internal storage, but you can always get a bigger micro SD card, and honestly, I don't think there's any reason to get the Max model unless you really want a bunch of internal storage. I think it's just kind of overkill to have 16 gigabytes of RAM. And also bear in mind, this device is definitely an investment. It's $299 for the base model and $370 for the Pro one. And at that price point, you're very close to a Steam Deck. Again, I would reference back to that review video I made initially, and so it's really going to be up to you and what type of games you're trying to play. But for me in particular, having something that's a little bit smaller with better battery life and the ability to emulate all the way up to PS2 and GameCube and Nintendo Switch is pretty great. Hello, this is tomorrow/editing/new haircut Russ. I'm fighting off a cold right now, so I'm going to attribute this to having brain fog. But in all this discussion about the Odin 2 and the price being pretty close to the Steam Deck, I forgot to talk about the other side of the spectrum in the fact that there are some pretty decent devices that are going to be a little bit cheaper that might get you pretty close to the Odin 2 as well. And the device I'm specifically talking about is the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. In fact, I already did a preview video about it. I'll leave it linked down below. But I'm actually getting my review unit later today,
all the way
so that'll
down
be the
to
next video I
Cremona
make as a review
Village.
on this device. Now, this one is going to retail for $199, so that's quite a bit cheaper than the Odin 2, but it has a Dimensity 1100 chipset, and I've never really used that chipset before, but my suspicion is that it will play GameCube and PS2 really well. So if you are looking for a smaller, more compact device, and you don't want to spend those Steam Deck prices to get the Odin 2, then the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro might be one to watch for. So check out that video when I release it later on this week or this weekend. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that little segment in there talking about the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro because I do think it's worth
Again, thank you so much for helping me.
So I guess when it comes down to it, when I first reviewed the Odin 2, I was in love with it. And after spending 2 weeks straight using it as my only handheld, I've only grown to love it even more. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you end up picking up an Odin 2 and how are you enjoying it? Or if you didn't pick it up, I'd be interested to hear why you decided not to get it. As always, thank you for watching and be sure to like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and we will see you next time. Happy gaming.
Maybe I should use Hylia berries to make wine? Yes! I'm not one of the bandits!
Over here. The hideout of the red-eared bandits is just down this path. Please help him.
Who's there? Intruder!
Situation like this. It's been a while. It's like the first day I met you.
You came to save me? Did Master Alfonso?
That was foolish. I'm glad I found you right away. I feel like I'm on an adventure with you again.
Sorry, Sue, I can't get the Wi-Fi.
No one can. We got rid of cable internet. Rising prices, equipment charges.
That's a bit dramatic. A better plan is Verizon Home Internet.
Switch to 5G home internet. Plans start at just $35 per month. Now with a 5-year price guarantee. Only on Verizon.
We got the house!
Pods handles the driving. Pack at your pace, store your things until you're ready, then we deliver to your new home. Across town or across the country. Pods, your personal moving and storage team.
Welcome to Will It Build, the series where I take your builds from my YouTube comments and Discord server and put them to the test to see if they are the real deal. If it's solid, then I'll gift you 1,000 silver, and if it's really something special, you'll be featured in a dedicated build video for your submitted build. So comment yours below so we can answer the question, will it build? Will It Build episode 2 of 2024. In the last episode, we had a very rare occurrence where we did not die to spikes a single time. I want to see how many episodes of Will It Build we can keep that streak alive. Also going to have another giveaway for y'all. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Right now, I just want to get straight into the build. We got one from Dagrian. They call it Will It Build Besto for Resto. They say it's a Warlock Void subclass.
I bet Rosaline will be
You guys know me. Whenever I'm walking with Void, I like to go Vortex. I just like it a little better than Cataclysm. Problems with Cataclysm, you know, your teammates can't shoot through it. It can get blown up mid-air. Not a big fan of it. I like going Vortex. Up to you if you prefer Cataclysm. For the exotic weapon, they're recommending we go with Telesto, which I said in the previous episode. I love experimenting with builds where they kind of give us funky exotics that you wouldn't typically use. So the Telesto aspect of this definitely
nonsense. They're forcing us to work for the cathedral.
They're trying to keep the artists on a leash.
Looks like the catalyst just increases the ammo reserve, so I feel like you probably don't have to have that.
Please, relax. The cathedral has done quite a lot for us, hasn't it? You're back.
And energy.
Slap me in the face. Kick me out.
Telesto will self-reload because
Are you a friend of Armin's?
Is it phrased like this because this exotic was introduced to the game in year 1 when fusion rifles were in the power slot? As far as our exotic armor, they're recommending that we go with Rain of Fire, which is or rapid. This build, permeability. Those perks, so works out pretty well. Let's go ahead and sauce that guy with a Nova Bomb. So right out the gate, I see what they were saying. Use the Telesto to go ahead and take out some of the orange bars. But I'm also thinking Telesto to take out some of the trap.
You're back.
Is going to be pretty decent as well. That's
You seem surprised.
Radiant, so I think the idea is going to be to kind of like blast an enemy with
Take this. The illusion stone will show you Father Armin's past.
This stone can show us Armin's past?
Another thing I'm noticing right out the gate as well is I think I was kind of wrong before. Previously, I said that I felt like the Empowering Rift was maybe a little bit redundant, because theoretically you're going to have Radiant up a lot, and you don't really need Empowering Rift in conjunction with Radiant. But I also think that Healing Rift would be kind of redundant, because the entire point of this build is to have Devour up all the time. So why would you really need a Healing
I remember the first time we met.
Kill?
You offered help when I had nothing to give you in return.
How many of you remember that
Telesto
Sometimes I wonder
where people were
how
shooting
things would be
Telesto
different
bolts into the air
if I
and
hadn't
trying
met
to
you
look
then.
at the patterns in them to try and look for constellations to see if there was some secret puzzle.
Nothing
And then
but
it just
wreckage.
turned out to be an
This
emblem
is where
code
the
and a
fire
shirt
broke
that
out.
you were selling on their website. Oh man, what a day that was. So let's go ahead and sauce a Nova Bomb. It's a Vortex Nova Bomb, so as long as the boss kind of stays in it, they're gonna get chipped away. I'm gonna kind of
Is it already 4 in the morning? Holy crap.
the ground with some Telesto and then
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I actually want to kill a trash mob. Actually,
We already have, like, I don't know,
so I have the same damage
4 in.
buff
Okay.
So I actually don't need to worry about killing the trash mob at that particular moment.
Hello?
I think,
Can you not hear me?
as well, right? And I deal damage. Let me get my super quickly.
What?
Why am I not hearing you?
Maybe you have a setting.
Who is this?
Alright, let's see. I'm
There's
gonna
nothing
kill this
interesting
guy.
here.
That'll give us a
If
raise.
you are tourists, that is.
Cool. So now we can just walk up and sauce the boss with our Telesto.
Hey, over here.
Second,
I think
wanna
I
try and
found
get the ability
something.
kills so we can get that devour. Go.
Hello?
Hello.
What the fuck?
And I just got sauced by that harpy, so I want to kill an enemy so I can full heal from devour.
Hello?
Hello.
This house, it's all
Oh my
scorched
god,
and
it's
sooty.
not going to my Bluetooth. What the fuck is it doing?
Yeah, I've had that happen before.
I can hear it, the Bluetooth when I join the server, but I can't. Hang on. The fuck
Devour
is
up
weird?
with this radiant and kind of paint the ground.
What did you find?
Go ahead and chip away.
This is...
Ooh, you know what I feel like would feel really, really nice?
Did
with this
Armin's
build is
mother
the target
draw
lock
this herself?
retrofit escapade.
Perhaps the illusion stone could do wonders here.
Have that on my 4 times the charm target lock. So right out the gate, I'm not entirely sure how I'm feeling about the Telesto specifically for boss DPS. I think it's really, really solid at being able to acquire the Radiant buff. So I think I'm viewing the Telesto more as a weapon that's meant for blasting the enemy so you get a Radiant buff while you're on a Void subclass as opposed to doing the damage itself. So I think the way I'm kind of shifting my mindset with this build is I want to kill an enemy to get Radiant. And then once I have that Radiant buff, I can pull out my other weapons like my
We're going to have a good year.
Rogan already went to get workers.
Then I can, while I have Radiant, pull out my
Armin,
target lock,
hurry up!
machine gun to blast
What's the prize this time, huh?
First things first, I want you to kill the grenade here.
They're just inside the village, right? Yes. I'll give the sweets I bought in the city to the one who finds the most treasure notes. One last thing. This time, there is also a special treasure, so look out for it. Wow! Where did she hide them?
Did she
I
really
can't
hide
find
in the
it.
village?
Oh. Armin, you're late. We almost started without you. Are you looking around the village?
Children kicked up.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Jeez.
I didn't realize it was already after 4 in the morning.
What?
I didn't realize it was already after 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I guess so. Why are you? What are you playing?
Lost Ark.
Oh. Yeah, how long have you been playing it?
She's going to get married to someone in Cremona Village?
3-ish hours.
I saw them take a huge dowry.
Not too bad, but that's probably the longest I ever heard you play it.
No, I've played longer. I end up using almost every, well, except for my blues. I have so many blues, it's insane. But I used, besides my blues, I used nearly every item I've ever logged in or farmed to level up a new character. I haven't spent any gold yet, which is nice, but I did end up using every single freaking item I saved, which was a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm already 1490 on a character I just made.
What is that, the gear score?
Yeah.
No.
Or item level, whatever.
You know, sorry about last
I
time.
got everything to plus 15, and now the only way I can upgrade is if I get raid gear.
I see.
Yep. Oh my goodness, you developers, you and your silly, weird story missions. I'm only doing them because I don't want to be time gated if I need to get a certain part in the story for a certain raid or something. So.
Check it out! I found 3! 2 for me. I have 2 too. How about you, Sui? 5. What? I came in last.
If you haven't, make sure you downloaded your free Epic game.
If I'm last, I'm
The Guardians, right?
Yep.
I can't remember if I got it or not now. I'm pretty sure I did.
It's one of the best free games they've given out, like value-wise.
Yeah, I know it's up there.
Keep going easy on him.
I'm pretty sure I got it. I won't be able to get it till I get back home.
You
Yeah.
have to count to 10 slowly. Let's hide.
Have to go into the office today. Fucking again.
Yeah. We have like 4 or 5 inches of snow already, and it's still gonna snow for another 10 hours, I think.
Oh yeah, there's a big snowstorm over you guys, isn't there?
Yeah.
Gonna be found out so fast.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's gonna hit us too.
Yeah, that'll depend on the wind, I guess.
How did you know?
It's multi-state, isn't it?
I don't know, maybe. It's cold, like it's effing cold.
I hid good, right?
Yeah. I know. I thought we were supposed to get something in the west, but not until later in the Wednesday or something.
Oh, you
Going to have a
found
good
me.
year.
Rogan already went to get workers. It's a shame. You are so good at finding.
I hope this quest is almost done. It's not hard or anything, it's just... I just want to get to action. I want to fight battles and castles.
I won't go easy on you.
Not these silly hide and seek crap that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
It's a memory of, I don't know, I haven't paid attention for the past 2 hours.
You haven't crashed.
No, why would I crash?
Well, are you playing on an online server or a single player server or what kind of server?
It's online.
I don't know because I crashed when I was playing, and I know you
Kids,
crashed
you're
though
running
a while
around like
back when
crazy.
you were streaming.
You
So
must be hungry. Armin?
No
Take
crashes
this
with Lost Ark.
It's just some helium.
wait, you're playing Lost Ark or you playing Ark? I thought you said you're playing Ark.
Lost Ark? No, dude, Lost Ark.
So you're the kid who just moved
I
here.
heard you were
Armin.
sick the other day. Are you okay now?
You just went out.
That's
I don't know
good
what
to
you said.
hear.
Lost Ark.
You are such a
Oh, you're
good
playing Lost Ark. Oh, okay. Why are you playing Lost Ark again?
Armin, you're back.
Decided to try the
Did
new
you have fun
class
with
to
your
see
new
if
friends?
it would get me back into it. I mean, I just spent all my resources, like I said, on
I
it.
just need to
So
forward this letter.
we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
For now, that's best.
I'll try.
What's the new class called?
I can't say how long
It's an
it will
assassin
take.
and it's
I
Soul
see.
Eater.
You are Armin.
You have a huge scythe.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
I'm actually playing on a controller right now.
You
Oh yeah, I totally forgot you
can
played that game.
trust Mr. VDJ.
Yep, and they finally added the quality of life to press one button to skip the entire quest or whatever. Remember, I had to just spam G.
Yeah.
You don't have to anymore if you don't want to. You just press one button. Man, I hope this
Armin?
thing's
Sorry to keep you waiting. Come eat.
I mean, even though I'm doing these story quests and stuff I don't like, they are rewarding me with resources to level up. Quite a bit of resources, so I guess you can't complain.
Different than the others. I hope we can stay here for a long time.
But getting to 1490 with the stuff and everything and enchanting with the honing, I spent almost 4 million silver.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep. I only have 12 million left.
Man, I'm waiting for the Diablo reveal. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Oh,
Taking too long.
You've made a lot of good friends.
Yeah, this
It's gotta be
season's
coming
done
out.
in 2 weeks or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, January like 21st or 23rd, one of the two.
Everyone is so kind and friendly.
Yeah.
It's like a dream. I attached this special treasure to the diary.
It's
I like all the games I
the
play with my
5th right
friends.
now. Is that what it is? No,
Do
it's
you
the
have
8th.
anything else
Today's
to
the
tell me?
8th.
Yeah.
Still waiting for China to update
will become
my
like you when I
tracking
grow up,
number,
Mother.
so I know when it's in the U.S.
I will always have a smile for others. I'll be warm and reliable. Someone who is of strength to others. But why do you keep calling me Mother? My reflection in the mirror.
It's time to upgrade your tire inflator. It's not an option, but a necessity. Here's why. Denvik's tire inflator boasts
King long gaming sessions on the 4.7-inch and 60 Hz type of IPS was to have battery with multiple connects and the locations of the buttons. The device did not differ much from the old version, Retroid POC 3 Plus, with only the lower buttons differing in design.
Don't worry.
Man, I want to get a
I'll
meta
help
again.
you.
No.
You want to
After
what?
playing I want to get a quest because after playing my girlfriend, it was just so good. Like,
Yeah, what game did you play?
the third one? Or what game?
Yeah.
Breachers. I played Breachers, a mixed reality game. That was really cool. It was actually really good. I was surprised how it didn't feel like a gimmick, the mixed reality game. That's how good it was. Breachers didn't feel like a gimmick. It felt like a really good game.
If you do it on adult web.
There was poker I played. It's really cool because like the social aspect in like VR games is like super intense and stuff like that. You know, like every VR game, there's people talking pretty much and helping you. And like you have the microphone and the speakers on the headset, so you don't have to worry about like how are you gonna get that sound and stuff like that. It's just cool because like when you play a shooting game, like almost so like it's funny because you don't really play many shooting games. I think you would play shooting games on the VR just because it's a lot easier.
The situation with the husband is pretty complicated.
Probably, yeah.
My name is Alberto.
Yeah, because all you have to do is just aim and stuff like that. You don't have to. It's not like you. Like, yeah, there is some skill involved, of course, but like, I feel like it's a little bit easier. It's more like it's less buttons you have to worry about.
Yeah.
If you can aim, then you can shoot someone.
This is... Armin, did you see what I just saw?
The mixed reality game was shooting, and then you had to like shoot the right color ball thing that was shooting. I forgot the name of the game. And then you get points and stuff like that. Beat Saber was actually really fun. Actually.
That would be probably the one I would try. Would be Beat Saber.
Are you ready?
Beat Saber was really fun. Like for just like a game that, you know, just a rhythm game. You wouldn't think much of it, but I thought it was good. Like I could see it. Like it's a good like, you know, Tetris is a good classic game. I could like Beat Saber is that game too. It's that good. And then you know you could use Steam Link where you connect to Steam and you can control your computers, and I mean they have that one MMO that's out for it. I mean yeah, I think it's definitely. I didn't even play golf with it yet. I'm sure golf is fucking wild too.
Mm.
Or bowling, like geez, there's all these types of games that I haven't played that are probably really really good in VR. There's basketball, but I think that's a little weird. I never tried it, but yeah, they were advertising it. I don't know.
When is he coming? Oh, I hope
I'm
he
not
got the
sure.
letter.
Like, I mean, I guess it's possible, but I think it'd be kind of weird. I think probably shooting games are very well. I mean, there's a lot of games that work really well in VR, but I think shooting games is just a really good example.
Huh?
The whole like you don't have to crouch, but you can just crouch and then your character will crouch in the game too. There's just, it's so like straight through and easy and cool the way it works.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Go do your errand.
There's some really good fucking people on that too. It's like, damn.
These are amazing. Wow, that's good. Wow, these are good.
Hang on.
What if I told you? What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and in this video, I will be showcasing one of the strongest strand builds in Destiny. If you're a fan of the channel, you may have seen me solo flawless this week's GM Nightfall with this.
Hi, this is Lori. May I help you?
Hi, may I have one hash brown on everything bagel toasted with butter?
But unfortunately, the ad spawned
Can I have the purple Tim's boost?
I died. But suffice it to say, this build can certainly
I'll have
hold
to
up
take
in
a
the
look at the card.
It all stems around the exotic gloves and necrotic grip. They have the exotic
It's fine,
crate
don't
grasp
mind him.
Unbelievable. Damaging combatants poisons them, dealing increased damage over time.
Yeah.
Is that
Defeating
all?
the poison
yeah,
can
that's
be
it, please.
Pretending to be so friendly.
also provides
Kevin
everyone
rewards
with
card
access
to
to
everybody.
weapons.
How dare you?
I
It's
think.
kind of a weird description because it doesn't specify that it needs to be melee damage, but it does.
Yeah,
It doesn't
hell,
have
you.
to be a
I
charged
want
melee,
you.
however,
You gotta pick
and
one
it
up,
even
man.
works with
I'm telling you,
blades.
it's
So
definitely.
it is quite strong. Or it can come from
Seriously.
damage from a weapon of
Yes,
So
no
I was
So
telling
you
my
can pair this with
girlfriend
the
and my
Thorn,
brother, I think,
Osteostriga, Touch of
that
Malice,
so
and
far
Necrochasm.
out of all the
However,
technologies
it
that
pairs
came
best
out
with
recently,
Thorn and Osteostriga
OLED
because it
and
suspends
VR
the
is
line
what
poison.
blew my mind the
It works
most.
with the Blight
Yeah.
Touch of Malice and Necrochasm's Curse.
Because like, dude, when you put the VR headset, you're like in the world.
It's
It's insane.
Turned red.
Overload auto rifle is part of the artifact this season, but SMGs aren't, which sort of takes Osteostriga off the table for this season in particular. But Unstoppable Hand Cannon is also on the artifact, so my go-to is Thorn.
And
And that's good
Thirsty
news
so
for the Destiny
much.
community because Necrochasm and Touch of Malice are raid exotics, so Thorn is much more accessible to the general population. Also, hand cannons recently got a buff in PvE, and exotic primaries already deal 40% more damage to red bars, so this thing feels super
This drink
nice.
is $5.99. It's not even worth the money
You
if I
can mow
get
down
it.
enemies with
Something in
ease with the
darkness.
Thorn, and
Light.
every time you do, you will be spreading corruption to nearby
You're all
enemies.
wet.
So that is where this build really shines. In activities with high ad density and when ads spawn in near each other. And many GMs are like this, as well as the coil.
Hey,
Pairing
you!
Necrotic Grip with Weapon of Sorrow
something
for
happen?
subclass, but it is best on Strand. Strand has 3 arcane needle melees, and they
The
hit for a
guy
decent
who
amount of
worked
damage.
with is
They
behind
also
me.
have some tracking, which is really nice. So that makes it the best pairing by far, but you could use Celestial Fire as well.
He's
But
funny.
again, Strand is definitely the superior pairing, and the aspects really enhance this. The main aspect you want to run is Mindspun Invocation, and we pair this with Shackle Grenades.
Shackle grenades can suspend enemies, so it is great for ad control and demobilizing enemies, as well as stunning unstoppables.
People say that I'm a
But if we
demon.
consume our grenade, then it will
And
give
my
us
mother
Weaver's Trance for 25
witch.
seconds. This means that any final blow we
Mother's
get
eyes
will
don't
cause a
even turn
suspending
red.
burst,
Are you feeling
so we
better?
can
My
suspend
mother
multiple
always
targets.
protects me from bad
And the
people.
poison will spread to all the suspended enemies and just continue
go
chaining
to
as
her,
those enemies die to the corruption.
Will I be able to
This can
protect my
theoretically go on forever if enough ads are around,
Then-
so this is extremely powerful.
Will it stop
The next
hurting?
aspect I like to run is the Wanderer, which allows our tangles to detonate into a suspending burst, whether we throw it or just shoot it.
Other
This allows
people
for even more suspension
also
and
have
acts
lights
as a
in their
secondary
hearts.
shackle grenade. So we can throw the
Mother,
tangle to suspend a group rather
I
than
grow
using
up,
our shackle grenade.
Hello.
This
become
aspect
a
isn't
priest.
mandatory,
Thank
but
you.
I think it is the best pick. Weavewalk is a nice
Rosalind
safety
said
valve to
that
use in a pinch,
priests
but it
are
only has
good
one
people
fragment
who
slot, and it
help
works
others.
counter to our build by using
will
up our
become a
melee
priest,
charges, which we want to be
and
using for
I
applying
will
poison.
share my light.
The arcane
and
needle melee
protect
itself
people,
actually deals a lot of damage.
just as
You
you've
can
done
apply
for me,
poison to an
Mother.
enemy by killing an enemy near them with
That's
the
a great
thorn.
idea,
If no
Father
enemies are
Armin.
around, then you can just toss out
Over
your
here.
melee to apply necrotic
This
grip
is the
poison
witch's
on a
house.
high health target. And this
I'll
poison
go
damage
see.
escalates over time.
Claudia,
In total, it ticks
I
20
know
times
you're
over 10
here.
seconds.
Open
Obviously,
the
the damage is
door.
different depending
Thank
on the
you.
activity, but
Yep.
on Carl, it does a total of
Thank you. You too.
94,223 damage. That is honestly very
Armin,
impressive.
you've
And it is
played
even
hide
more
and seek with
impressive
your
if you use
friends,
the
right?
arcane needle melee to apply the poison. The melee itself hits for
Oh,
almost
that's funny, I
33,000
saw.
damage, which is quite a bit, but it also unravels the target. And the damage from the poison procs unravel as soon as it is cooled down, and the unravel damage ticks hit for 2819 damage each tick. So
Hide
yeah,
in
you
here,
can get
Armin.
a lot of total damage on high health targets for minimal effort. And that is great
Don't
on
worry.
something like the Lake of Shadows meatball. Unfortunately, when I tried this build out in Lake of Shadows, I didn't know how strong this damage over time
You
was,
might be able to find
which made
the.
boss hit its health
Oh,
gauge to
actually,
spawn
no,
in
don't get the
ads
first
before
one.
I
I was going to
ready.
say you might be
In
able
the
to save
making
money
of
and get
this
the
video,
first one,
I've
but don't
been
do that.
testing and reviewing the footage, and
No,
I have a much
the
better
first
understanding
one,
of the ins and outs of this build.
What?
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
no,
learned too
don't
from
wanna
these
do
build
that.
videos when I look deep into
What
the
in
interactions
the world
with
is
my
going on?
Oh my goodness,
enemies,
finally
so
finished this
that's
quest.
damage
Now,
and necrotic grips.
Claudia
Obviously,
can I
knew she
leave
was
this
going to
area,
have
or
an
am I
unexpected
still
visitor.
going?
But that is something I want to talk about and what makes this build so great. Damage over time is one of the strongest elements in Destiny. Anarchy was a top dog for a long time thanks to
The illusion stone broke.
I'm so fucking thirsty right now.
are still meta
Someone
options
asked
and
me to
lots of
give this
content
to you.
thanks to this feature. And the recently released Dragon's Breath has a lot of great utility in this aspect as well. Well, this build does damage over time better than anything in the game. You can activate Weaver's Call, and once you get a kill with your melee or thorn, then the
gave
poison
you
will just
this?
spread and do all
It
the
was
ads
just a
for you
man in a
for you.
cape.
It's incredible.
That's all I can remember.
This allows you to focus on other high
A
priority
man in a
targets while
cape.
the ads just all die.
Who knows that
When
you're
the poison
here?
is spreading, you gain super energy like crazy. In the background are a couple clips, and I get a super in like a minute or less. And I would like to point out that my build only has 20 intellect, so my base super cooldown is 9.5 minutes. You can just see the super bar slowly ticking up because of all the damage over time that I'm dealing to various enemies.
Yeah, man, I
So
really
this is
hope
a
that this
super
new
underrated
Diablo
benefit of the
season,
build.
you know, I don't want
So
another
you
Blood
can
Harvest.
use
You
Yeah,
better
me
not
neither.
fucking.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, Blood Harvest was
Here.
fun for the
I was
first
hoping you
time,
could
but I
help
don't
me.
want to
Most
see them
important is
fucking
strat generation.
redoing that every
This was
fucking
nerfed
year
a while
now.
back because you
Yeah.
could basically spam grenades with certain
It's already
builds,
worse
this
that they
one
did that for
included.
the
But even with the
Christmas
nerf, I'm
event.
able to get my grenade in
Yeah.
less than 25 seconds. Which
I
is
have
how
a
long
really
Weaver's Trance
strong
lasts.
feeling they're gonna do
We're
it though, and
on
I'm gonna be
discipline, which is
fucking
normally
Me
pissed.
too, but I gotta
Down
see what they're
shackle
gonna do to
grenades.
make
That
you
tells how good this
powerful.
fragment is. With enough enemies
And
around,
I
Or
really hope
or
you
do
can
they
get
add
extremely
new
high
loot,
on your grenades.
right?
The
New
next version
uniques
is
or
Fire
something?
Back,
And I was hoping you'd
I
come
thought, well, I
visit
thought
me
that
again.
was one of the
Before leaving
one of the
Fletcher.
things they advertise is they
important
will
because
do
it's
new
always
new
important.
uniques, right?
I mean, that could give you a reason to
Especially on
replay, I
high-health
guess.
targets. After that, I like Threat
I
of
thought they
Continuity because
advertised
it
that back
suspends
in the
enemies
day,
for
but
50% longer than normal. So it just keeps them incapacitated for that much longer.
Ah.
It pairs great
But
with this build, but you
I
can
just-
run
my
something
alarm
else
went
here
off.
if you like.
Yeah, I
Suspends
mean,
unraveling from your
I
melee
suppose you
lasts
saw
I
for
don't know. I
painting
just
as
hope
well.
like it's
And
not
finally, we have Threat of Mind, where killing suspended
it's
targets
not
grants
just
class ability
the same
energy.
systems,
So my
but just
rift
called
cooldown is
something else.
30 seconds
I'm
as I have tier
hoping.
7 with this build, but I get a Healing Rift in 30 seconds in one clip for my GM run.
Hello?
So again, this fragment
here.
helps a lot. I really
Like
love
the vampire
because it fully leans into the build.
powers or
As long
whatever.
as you
Are
handle
really
gameplay
cool,
loop
yeah.
successfully, then you
True.
massively
Yeah,
lower
but
the
especially
cost
the
of
last
personal
one.
abilities.
I don't want to
The
see
gameplay
like
loop is as
a
follows.
just
Consume
a
your grenade,
you know
get a
a
kill with
rewritten
Thorn or
one,
your
like a
melee.
recycled
This will
bullshit.
sustain
No,
nearby
yeah.
enemies, leaving them unable to damage
I want
you
him to have a
while they
cool,
themselves
cool
take
unique,
extreme
or a
poison
cool
damage and then
feature
they
of
die
some
and spread
kind.
the corruption to
But
others, and it is a chain reaction,
new loot would
causing
be
all the
cool, I
enemies to be
guess.
suspended
So
and die to the poison. This will give us more rift and grenade energy.
I
from
want
the
new
third line
everything,
and
you
third
know. I know.
generation,
I
and
even
our
want
melee
like
unravels
new
targets, and
new
when an
game
unraveled
mechanics.
target
Like
dies,
I
it
hope they
creates a
don't
tangle.
fucking just
This
recycle
tangle will grant
shit.
us
yeah, I
more
don't know
damage
what
Because
damage
the
to
new
targets with
game
it
mechanic
and
will be,
suspend
but yeah, it'll be
targets.
curious
And
to
as
see.
mentioned before, all the dot
if they
damage is giving us a
recycle,
massive
then
spread
100%, I
so
think
this build
I'll
shines
end up
when there are
getting
lots
bored
of
of this
enemies
game. I
around,
mean,
as
if
we
you
Yep.
could
only get
only
that
play
opening
so many,
kill.
you
And
know,
if we
like
crank up the ability
Diablo
cooldowns
3
even
was
more
fun,
for
but you can
unravels,
only do so many
the
reps,
helmet
you
should
know.
offer dual kinetic
Well,
sight
there's
and
other
one
stuff than
target
Risk,
plus
but
a
yes.
Things
would have been much more
Having two of
difficult
these
without
just makes
you.
the
I
orbs
mean,
grant more super energy
Diablo
and pick
4
up
is
versus
fun,
just
but
having
you like.
one. Then I run a
I
heavy
don't
ammo
know
finder
why
as
they think
primary
that
kills
like
increase
people
the chance
want
for
that
heavy to drop,
leaderboards
and
with the
doubly so
dungeon.
when the
Like,
primary weapon
Yeah,
is
who
in
that
gloves.
shit
cares?
is
You
for
On
know.
the gloves, I run
that
fastball,
you
and
only
I'm not
do
sure
that
if this actually
once.
does anything on
They,
shafted
like I
ammo,
think
but
it's a
let me go
weekly
down in the comments below.
gift,
Oh yeah.
a weekly
Regardless,
reward.
I only have one energy, so that is
If
why
it's
I
a
run it.
weekly, then it
I
means
then
that
run
it's not
kinetic
part of
loader
your
because
core
Thorn has slow
gameplay.
as hell
Like, why
reload
are they
speed.
putting that
I
in
know his
there?
magazine can get overflowed with the catalyst, but in high
You
end
know?
content,
Yeah,
grabbing
that
the
is weird.
oversouls is actually quite hard, as
Like, I
usually
want
you're
core
getting kills at a
gameplay
distance.
improvements like
Not to
Path
mention
of
the poison
Exile
is killing
does.
more
I mean,
enemies than
I
you
don't know.
think.
Mhm.
But if you don't want the
If
low
Dude,
this
by the
season-
time
focus on
they're even going to
straightforward
get
classic ability
decent,
energy when
Path
you
of
do
Exile
damage
2
with
is
a
going to be
melee.
out, and it's
You'll
going to
throwing a
be.
fair bit of melees out,
It
so
could
this
end up
comes in
being the
handy.
biggest PC
Direct
game of
impact
all
induction
time.
to grant grenade energy
So
when
we'll
I deal
see.
damage with a melee. And in lower end
Oh,
content, your melee may outright kill most
I think
enemies,
Diablo
so
4 will
heavy-handed
always have
could be
players,
nicer instead of the lower
just
mode.
because like
On the
it's
Casual.
easy
just
to
run
get it.
resist mods, you know,
Yeah, I
for
think
the
it's always
on the
gonna have
legs,
people,
you can
but
the scavenger mod for my heavy.
Well, I already
Builds
said
versus finder bricks give
if
less
I skip
ammo than
this season,
regular
I'll
bricks,
definitely play
and then I have
season
better
4
armor and recuperation,
because
so
all
means that you
legendary
get
powers go to their
you
own
can run what you like
codex.
here. And then on the class
Legendary
item, I have
report.
powerful attraction for picking up
Why
nearby
is this girl
orbs, and
fucking? Oh, I'm
distribution
gonna
to give me
fucking
bonus
just go.
ability
Fuck it.
energy to all my abilities when I cast my rift.
I'll
nearby.
try using the
Yeah, I
illusion
don't know.
stone.
We'll
To
see.
receive a bit of
I'm
grenade
really.
energy whenever I cast my rift.
I'm praying,
For
man.
artifact
That
bricks,
like
there's only
it's
one
not
that
that I
really
want
synergizes
Diablo to
with this
fucking
exact build,
lose or
and that is
win or
No,
whatever.
they need to win, or not even win, but do well.
Yeah, I hope they don't do this shit where like they're gonna recycle shit. I'm praying, bro, but I don't know. I mean, even the Christmas skins were pretty fucking upsetting. I don't know who approved those. I didn't even get them. I mean, I said I would probably get them, but nah, fuck that,
It
dude.
needs
It's
to
not
be
even
melee
worth it.
damage,
They
but
look
it
so
does.
shitty.
It doesn't have to
Who
be a
would
charge
take their
melee,
time
however,
to get
and it even works with
shitty
glaives,
fucking
so
Christmas
it is
skins
quite
like that?
strong. Or it can come from damage from a
I
weapon
don't
of
know.
sorrow.
Maybe
So
I'm
you
just
can pair this with the Thorn, Osteostriga, Touch of Malice,
over
and
exaggerating. I don't know.
Necrochasm.
I
However,
thought
it
they
pairs
were pretty
best with
fucking
Thorn
bad.
and
If you ask me.
Osteostriga because of how easily they can apply the poison.
Oh,
It only works with the
I
Blight
don't know
Shot
how
and
to
Touch of
fucking
Malice
clean
and
the
Necrochasm's Curse
snow
Storm
off the
Explosion.
sides. Like,
That being said,
oh.
you could still make it work with those weapons. Overload Auto Rifle is part of the artifact this season, but SMGs aren't, which
I don't
sort of
like it
takes
all fucking
Osteostriga
snowy.
off the table for this season in particular. But
turn
Unstoppable Hand Cannon is also on the
Arc over up on the side.
Oh my goodness, another quest chain. Alright, hurry up.
Alright, Hill, I gotta go to
my
work.
go-to
I'll see you
is
later.
Thorn.
Yeah, I would go
And that's
work.
good news for the Destiny community because Necrochasm and Touch of Malice are raid exotics, so Thorn is much more accessible to the general population. Also, hand cannons recently got a buff in PvE, and exotic primaries already deal 40% more damage to red bars, so this thing feels super nice. We want to be using for applying poison. The arcane grabbing the oversoul bit of grenade energy whenever I cast my rift.
Oh boy, what's in this quest?
Mother. G1 works to upgrade your health routine. By
With every new season that comes to Destiny 2, we usually get a bunch of new weapons to try out and see if they are worth using or worth your time to try and get. With there being so many guns to choose from in Destiny 2, it's hard to know what you should actually be using, whether that gun is the best at what it does, or if you just like using it. As every single season comes and goes in Destiny, the gun meta always seems to be changing. So, in today's video, I want to cover the top 10 most popular weapons that are being used this current season. These weapons are the most used probably because they are the best at what they do, or just because they are new and people are trying to see if they're any good. Make sure you stick around right to the end of the video to see exactly what weapons are being used. Kicking this list off with number 10, we have none other than the Quicksilver Storm. Not only is this exotic rifle a powerhouse, it is also especially used this season because of the overload auto rifle mod in the artifact mods. Ever since the Quicksilver Storm has come
Have you seen my mother?
The one the priests are looking for?
Some bad people came to our house.
reason. With this weapon doing pretty good kinetic damage
Where's
and the ability to
Father, here's the demon
here.
the priests wanted.
Please, please tell me.
using. If you ever need to use an auto rifle for PvE activities, the
That wretched.
You filthy little demon.
Father,
here! Over here!
Mom,
Where are you?
however, this season it is snuck back
It hurts.
nine. Now, the Witherwood has definitely secured
The
this
demon
weapon as the
is
nine
trying to kill us.
Now, the Witherwood is an amazing Coming in at number 8, we have the Apocryphal Integration.
Sugar
which
and
I'm
shaking
so
over there.
surprised to see
It's
in
so scary.
Wish. This is such a rare weapon to be back and being used by players because this one was made a few seasons ago. Us players played with the mission, got the weapon, tried it out, and then said, yeah, alright, cool, and then put it away in the vault. But this weapon is actually pretty slept on because it's actually really good. Not only is this weapon one of the best looking weapons in the entire game, it can roll with some pretty good perks. It is a fixed gun, so you can choose keep away or stats for all. In the second column, you can choose of Eye of the Storm or Incandescent. For me, I like to use keep away and Incandescent, and to be fair, this weapon is actually pretty good. Moving on to number 7, this one actually surprised me, being that it is the Amit AR2. Now, don't get me wrong here. This weapon is seriously amazing to use
doesn't
in both
have
PvE
anything
and
to do with
PvP.
this.
However, I would think that the Quicksilver Storm would actually beat this gun. But hey, look, that's what players use. Now, I suspect the Amit AR2 will be a Dragon's Breast or any other exotic in the list. Now, because this is our first weapon in the list, I'm going to tell you the best perks to run on this weapon for PvE and how to
I see
get
now.
it. In my opinion, the two best perks that you can use for this gun would have to be Triple Tap and Incandescent. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone that's watching this video already has this weapon crafted because you get this one by unlocking the crafting station through the Witch Queen campaign. It's pretty simple, and I doubt no one in this list actually doesn't have it. Moving on to number 6, we have everyone's favorite subclass. I think it's pretty safe to say that the most used subclass for every Guardian would have to be Solar. So, by using solar weapons, this works very well with everyone's solar subclass. And the Callus Mini Tool is obviously solar. Now, the two best perks that everyone is running on this weapon would have to be Unrelenting and Incandescent. With Unrelenting on, every time you kill a couple of mobs in the game, you are going to get your health regeneration to start, and obviously Incandescent makes sure that everything blows up and dies. Now, the Callus Mini Tool is obtainable through the exotic mission Rotator. The mission you want to look out for is Presage, so whenever that comes out, make sure to grind it when you can. Moving on to our next weapon, we have the Zauli's Bane. Now, the Zauli's Bane is my second favorite hand cannon, which follows right after the Sunshot. Now, the Zauli's Bane is basically a mini Sunshot. With the Zauli's Bane being able to roll with explosive payload and incandescent, it pretty much feels like a
Tricky
Sunshot.
little demon,
This doesn't have the
pretending
same
to be
exotic perk
human.
that the Sunshot has. But by
Bodies.
using the Zauli's Bane
What
instead
should
of
we
the
do
Sunshot,
with those who have
it's
seen the
free on your
key?
exotic slot to use a
Those who have seen the
primary
key.
or even a heavy exotic. Now, the Zauli's Bane is obtainable through the King's Fall raid. So
Get
you can
rid
smash
of
on all
them.
those raids and make sure to jump in there and try and get one crafted whenever you can possible, because trust me, this weapon is seriously good. Coming in at number 4, we have the Apex Predator rocket launcher from none other than the last raid. Now, in my opinion, the Apex Predator is the best rocket launcher in the game that you can be using.
I thought I understood what Armin said.
The Apex Predator can roll with
when he left us. He told us we didn't know about him, that he was different. Back then, I hadn't understood anything.
35% increased damage, and with reconstruction being able to automatically reload that gun while you can do damage with a different gun, this weapon is just unreal. Now, I do understand that other rocket launchers in the game can technically do more damage, but to do this, it requires a lot of different tech and to do very specific things in very specific orders so that you don't mess up your rotation. Whereas the Apex Predator is super simple. Shoot a rocket and then tag the enemy with your other 2 weapons and then switch back to the rocket. You have bait switch proc and 2 rockets ready to go. The rotation is super simple and it does a lot of damage. Now, like I said just before, the Apex Predator is obtainable through the last Wish raid. Now, the easiest way to get all of these weapons is to farm the first boss, Cali, and do the Cali cheese. If you don't know what I'm talking about, search into YouTube Desi 2 Cali cheese and you'll get it pretty quick. Moving on to our top 3 most used weapons this season, in number 3 we have the Riptide. Just like all of the past few seasons, the Riptide has been in the top 10 most used weapons for all of these seasons. Even though Bungie tried to nerf the Riptide and Stasis, it is still an amazing weapon that I recommend every single player tries to get. If you don't know what a Riptide is, it is basically a Stasis rapid fire.
Armin's mother.
So in any
Claudia.
Desi 2, all you need to do is fire a
That's the salvation that led Armin's life. During the most difficult times of my life,
especially when you're trying to
I met you.
Freezing them is honestly
I don't know if I'll ever be able to repay that gratitude to Armin.
Unfortunately, you need to do 3
I hope Armin doesn't make any more painful choices.
Rapid fire fusion rifle, it really isn't that bad. Now, the 2 best perks that you are going to want to look out for on the Riptide is auto-loading holster and chill clip. If you don't have chill clip on the Riptide, it
Will you
freeze them. You need to make sure
pray with me?
chill clip on the gun. Now, because this gun is pretty rare and hard to obtain, if you get any Riptide with chill clip, just keep it. It's going to be the best one that you get until you can get lucky enough to get something
May
like
he
auto-loading
rest
holster and chill clip. Another
in
great
peace.
one to look out for is lead from gold or even field prep. Honestly, the main perk you look out for is just chill clip. The only way to obtain this weapon is play Crucible, get Crucible engrams, head over to Shacks, and then decode them into Riptides. Unfortunately, this is a little bit of a grind, but trust me, this weapon is 100% worth trying to get. Moving on to number 2, we have everyone's newest favorite hand cannon, the exotic Sunshot. Ever since we got that flat damage boost to hand cannons a couple of seasons ago, hand cannons have been reigning supreme as the best weapons to use inside of PvE. And obviously, Sunshot is one of the best exotic hand cannons to use. It has incredible DPS.
The rosary on the tomb
This weapon
keeps
is just
bothering me.
amazing. It speaks for itself.
I'm so
Have a
bored.
try
Hey,
Sunshot out,
you're
make
still
sure you
here.
try and get it, and then give it a go. Finally, wrapping this list up with number 1, the most popular weapon that everyone is using this season is none other than the newest exotic, the Dragon's Breath. Now, obviously, this one is the most popular weapon to use this season because it is the newest weapon that we have gotten, and everyone wants to try it out and see if it's actually pretty good. Now, to be fair, for myself, I haven't actually fully tested this gun out yet, but from what I've heard and seen on YouTube, the Dragon's Breath is actually
speak
incredible,
clearly.
and it is definitely
It's
worth
you.
using if you haven't given it a proper go yet.
You said you're friends with Father Armin.
A female priest who hid her identity and raised a child.
Why was the Vidice family's money being sent to Sacria? And why is the ship that was operating with that money currently anchored in Phaeton?
These weapons are used because they are the best at what they do, and if you haven't gotten any of these weapons, I seriously recommend that you try and get them.
It's
Thank you,
true
Guardians, for watching
that
this video.
I donated
If you
money
watched
to
this far,
Sacria.
Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot. Maybe consider dropping a like, subscribe, and comment, and all of that other good stuff down below. But again,
I don't
thank you
think
for
they're
watching,
lying. The records on the ship look pretty accurate.
I donated money to Sacria. Because they tried to...
Some of the Dawn priests who hid to investigate the cathedral say they found...
Someone sent this note to you.
This is yours. So... This is... We have to find the Ignis Cathedral's ship ledger, up to 20 years back.
Understood.
Is it this There's an underground canal in Plechia to maintain the waterways that are used for transport. Did you find the entrance to the canal? I'll go that way. Damn it. It's that priest who was in disguise to investigate the cathedral. Check this. I found it from that priest. I never imagined. I didn't know the Archbishop comes here.
You're here. Did you meet the Dawn Priest? What did they say? Show me the note.
You're not one to fall behind. Your opponent must have been quite strong.
Then, it seems Armin is calling you.
I came because I thought you would be here. Please forgive me, as I was in a rush. My name is Jaderico.
I heard about you.
My name is Thyrane.
That means there were others who
Where
were
are they?
kidnapped in the past.
Somewhere in Plechia.
We have to find the underground space.
Given the notes written by the Dawn Priest who was found in the underground canal.
Yes. 20 years ago, huh? They're not dead. There was quite an uproar about the oppression of art.
We should go talk to him. Shandy once told me. Can I come with you?
It might be dangerous. Thank you. All of the valuable artworks in Plechia are gathered in one place.
I'm gonna call it here, guys. Have a good night.